Hi, I'm Carol O'Mara, horticulture entomologist with Colorado State University Extension here in Boulder County. Just take a look at these delicious looking carrot tops, these wonderful succulent lettuce leaves, or these beets that are sized up and ready to harvest. At the end of July, in a hot summer garden, a lot of these plants are going to be finishing their lifespan for us, but what we can do now is start planting for fall. If you get the seeds in now, you're going to give your plants plenty of time to size up just as the season is cooling down, which is when most of these cool season crops really come into their own. If you want to have a fall garden and expand your season to 3, even 4 seasons long, then go ahead and start planning to put your garden in now. Let's take a look at how. In Colorado, our summers have heated up immensely, and we're dealing with 90-degree days, or we're dealing with soil temperatures that are really getting warm. If you're going to have success in sowing your cool season crops, one of the tricks that you can use is using other plants in your garden to shade those to keep them cool enough to germinate. If you look at something like a bean teepee like this one is, it's formed this huge mass of foliage that's shading the ground underneath. And right inside here, this is the perfect place for you to sow smaller lettuces, maybe your baby pak choys, some of the smaller greens that are going to start sizing up just when these beans are finished and you can pull them off so that those plants in the fall will get sunlight. Take a look at this. It's now been under mulch for the summer, and the soil is actually cool to the touch and still moist inside. This is perfect for sowing those seeds, and they're going to really enjoy the little bit of shelter this bean teepee gives them in order to germinate. Take a look at the wide variety of things that we can go ahead and put in for our fall gardens. You can put in common things like your lettuces, or you can put in beets and other root crops like carrots or parsnips. But think outside the box and start really opening up your kitchen to things like Swiss chard, some more peas. You can put in kohlrabi, those unusual kind of spaceship looking plants that taste delicate like celery. A lot of the stir-fry greens come into their own in fall. Things like the pak choys, the broccoli rabs, mustards, and kale. These are great for fall stir-fries and other types of salads that you want to use when the days are starting to cool off. One of the things to remember with the peas especially is you have to make sure that everything you're planting is 60 days or less to maturity. So when you grab any kind of a seed packet at the store, turn it around and take a look at the back. What this is going to do is tell you how many days to harvest, and you want to make sure that you only have up to 60 days. Otherwise, we're going to be running into those killing frosts in fall, and your plants are going to go south. For peas, we don't often sow now and get actual peas in the fall. What we do get, though, are plenty of the shoots and the blossoms for stir-fries and for salads. So put them in, and you're still going to enjoy them. You just may not get that many pods off of them. For broccoli, it's going to be a little bit of a trick. You've got to get it in now, and the best way to put it in is going to be from seed. But if you take a look at this, you can see that the days to harvest is 90 days. Don't worry about that so much. Broccoli is tough, especially once it gets up and growing. And as these frosts come in, it's actually going to just shrug it off and not be worried by it. It'll stay sweet, and you'll be having really delicious broccoli by the end of the season. For the rest of these plants, getting them in the ground is pretty simple. What we have here is a prepared bed. You can see here it's been liberally enriched with a lot of good compost. We've been keeping it mulched in order to keep the moisture in and temperatures a little bit cooler. So what we're going to do now is we're going to gently move this mulch back, kind of take it off, and then take a look at how shallow we want to sow these seeds. Again, that information is on the seed packets. In some cases, like the parsnips, they're a pretty good sized seed, and we're going to put those in a little bit deeply to about a ½ inch. So you can see here, the seeds are fairly large. But if you're working with carrots, where the seeds are really, really small, you really only want to scratch the surface of the soil just a little bit. They only need to be planted about 1/8 of an inch into the ground, and then you cover them. So when you get your carrots, as you can see, you're going to sow them pretty thickly into the ground. and then gently cover with soil. A little bit of mulch is wonderful for these plants. They'll poke up through it. And again, anything you can do to buffer the heat of summer to get these seeds to germinate better, that's the way to go. I'm Carol O'Meara, helping you to garden.